Hey guys, this is Cam from Craft & Tailored, and in this week's episode of What Is On My Wrist, we are talking about a manual wound Rolex. So Rolex is known for the perpetual movement, right? Unless we're talking Daytonas and et cetera, right? Rolex is really known for that perpetual, movement. But this specific watch that we're gonna be talking about has spent a lot of time on my wrist. I really like the fit, feel, the finish of the piece, and it's a watch that comes with some military provenance as well. So I thought it was worthy of some wrist time as well as worthy of some discussion this week. So this is a 1969 Rolex Oysterdate Precision. And what's kind of cool about the Precision series is it's Rolex's more entry-level timepiece. Precision basically meaning that the watch itself needs to be manually wound. So let's see if we can hear this. You hear that? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's good. So this watch, the case diameter is 34 millimeters, but when I put this on my wrist, the interesting thing is this watch doesn't really feel out of place in terms of size. It feels really nice on my wrist. And I think one of the reasons why it doesn't, to me, look small, but also feels really nice while on wrist is because the case of the 6694 is actually a little bit thinner because you don't have that oscillating weight on the bottom of the movement. Manually wound watch, I think there's something that's really special about watches that are manual wind. It really makes me kind of connect with time, I guess. So I think there's something special about winding a watch. And I think in order to get into fine timepieces, there's something about that feeling of winding a watch that really connects you with what it is that you're wearing. This watch was sold in July 25th of 1969, and it was actually sold at a US Air Force, or an Army and Air Force exchange. So we actually have the original sales receipt. The gentleman paid, I think, what did he pay for this? $99 back in 1969 for this watch. It has its original horseshoe box, which is really, really cool. So clamshell kind of box with the horseshoe holder in there. And then the other thing that's really cool is it actually has this little slip. So I'm gonna put this on my white shirt so you can see it. But it basically says Oyster Date, shows the date magnified by the ingenious Cyclops lens, guaranteed waterproof to 165 feet underwater, shock resisting and anti-magnetic. I think this says a lot about this Oyster Date. This is, watch collecting and appreciating watches at kind of the core of what makes this so cool. There's a Cyclops lens, it magnifies the date. It's water resistant, it's anti-magnetic, it's shock resisting. I think the guy who originally wore this piece took those things into account because who knows what he did, but I think those things were probably pretty important. Original oyster rivet bracelet, there really isn't any stretch in this bracelet at all, which is pretty impressive. The 6694, just from a historical perspective, has been around from the 60s into the 80s. So it's a watch that has been around for a long time. The watch to me really feels and kind of has a fit and finish of an Air King. So it has kind of these baton style hands, stick markers. The dial has kind of an interesting patina to it. In the light, there's some kind of almost like leopard kind of spots on the dial. All of the tritium lume in the hands and on the dial is completely 110% intact. The movement, when you open the movement, is very simple, but yet it is complex. It is very much Rolex. I think to find something like this that is intact and kind of simple and just undoubtedly just cool is to be desired, regardless of the price point. And that's what makes vintage watch collecting and this stuff so cool to begin with. Is sometimes it's not about the price, it's not about the exclusivity, it's about what it is and kind of the cool factor, and this watch definitely has it. So this is what is on my wrist this week. I'm going to provide a link below that provides a little bit more history about the 6694 and this watch specifically. Also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check us out on Instagram. We can be found at Craft & Tailored. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to stick around for upcoming new episodes on the weekly. Thanks, see you guys later.